There is a force so extraordinary, so quietly devastating in its potential, that if you learn to harness it in complete silence, it can entirely reconstruct your life within just 21 days. And perhaps the reason no one has ever told you about it is precisely because it works in the dark, far from the noise, far from the applause, and far from the opinions of everyone around you. Take a moment right now and genuinely ask yourself, why do some people seem to effortlessly attract money, opportunity, peace, and prosperity, while others spend years grinding, hustling, sacrificing, and still wake up to the same circumstances they've been trying to escape? The answer isn't a better job. It isn't a lucky break. It isn't even talent. The answer lives in silence, in a hidden place deep within the architecture of your own mind that very few people ever dare to explore, and even fewer have the discipline to use. This is the foundation of Napoleon Hill motivation, and it is one of the most underestimated principles in the entire field of personal development. Napoleon Hill spent more than 20 years studying the habits, patterns, and inner lives of the most successful men and women of his era. The result of that research became one of the most important books ever written on wealth building and the success mindset, Think and Grow Rich. And what he discovered flew in the face of everything the average person believed about achievement. Hill concluded that the starting point of all riches, all true, lasting wealth, was not hard work alone. It was not luck. It was not even raw intelligence or talent, though those things play a role. The true origin of every great achievement, according to Napoleon Hill wisdom, was something happening quietly, invisibly, and persistently inside the mind of the person who achieved it. It was the dominant thought, the idea, desire, or vision that a person chose to hold, nurture, and protect in the sacred silence of their own inner world. This single insight, if you truly absorb it, has the power to become the most important mindset shift of your life. Here is something that most people in the self-improvement and self-help space don't talk about enough. The act of speaking your dreams prematurely can actually kill them. Think about the last time you were genuinely excited about a new goal. A business idea, a financial target, a health transformation, a relationship you wanted to build. You felt it burning inside you. And then you told someone, and they responded with caution or skepticism or a well-meaning, "But are you sure?" And suddenly that fire began to flicker. This is not a coincidence. This is science meeting Napoleon Hill philosophy at the intersection of personal growth. When you share a dream before it has had time to take root, before it has developed the structural integrity to withstand outside interference, you open it to the wind, and other people's fears, doubts, past failures, and limited beliefs pour in like cold air and begin to erode the very certainty that made your vision possible in the first place. Silence, by contrast, is protection. Silence is the greenhouse where fragile seeds become unbreakable roots. It is the environment in which the early stages of wealth mindset development, those tentative, powerful first formations of belief, are allowed to grow undisturbed. The ancient wisdom of Scripture captured this beautifully, thousands of years before modern psychology could measure it. We are told, "But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father, who is unseen. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you openly." What is done in secret, in the hidden, protected, silent place, is precisely what produces visible, public, and lasting results. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is the most fertile soil that exists for transformation. Before we go further, I want you to do one simple but powerful thing. Write in the comments right now, "My silence transforms me." Just 4 words. Let those words begin to reprogram your mind for everything we are about to build together. The central teaching that runs through all of Napoleon Hill's work and through every legitimate tradition of personal finance, spiritual wisdom, and self-help is this: nothing changes on the outside until something changes on the inside first. The exterior of your life is a reflection, not a cause. Your bank account, your relationships, your health, your opportunities, these are effects. They are the harvest, and the harvest always, without exception, mirrors the seeds that were planted. Your mind is a garden, and that garden does not discriminate. It does not ask whether the seeds you're planting are the ones you want to grow. It simply does what gardens do. It grows whatever is consistently placed into it with attention and repetition. If you are planting seeds of scarcity, telling yourself daily that money is hard to come by, that you weren't born lucky, that success is for other people, then that is the crop your mind will produce. Not because the universe is cruel, but because that is how the mechanism works. But if you plant seeds of abundance, of capability, of financial freedom, of certainty, even when your eyes cannot yet see any evidence of them, those seeds take root in a dimension of your mind that operates far beneath conscious awareness, and in time, they break through. This is not wishful thinking. This is the operational principle behind Think and Grow Rich, behind The Secret, behind every credible life coach teaching in the modern era. It is the bedrock of a wealth mindset that actually produces results. As Proverbs reminds us, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Not as he speaks, not as he appears, as he thinks in the quiet, unguarded space of his own heart. That is the arena where your life is truly being written. What follows is not theory. This is a practical, day-by-day, moment-by-moment framework rooted in Napoleon Hill principles, aligned with the teachings of personal development masters, and refined to work within the rhythms of real life. Commit to this for 21 days, in silence, in private, with consistency, and you will not be the same person who started. Pillar 1. Absolute clarity of purpose. Napoleon Hill was uncompromising on this point, and so must you be. No person achieves anything of significance without first knowing, with surgical precision, what they are pursuing. The majority of people exist in a fog. They want more money, more happiness, more peace. But more is not a destination. It is a direction with no destination. And a ship with no destination cannot be navigated. Your first exercise, beginning today, not tomorrow, and is this: sit in silence, close your eyes, breathe slowly, and then answer this one question with absolute honesty. What specific transformation do I want in the next 21 days? Choose one area of focus. It might be your personal finance, a specific income goal, a debt eliminated, a savings milestone reached. It might be your mental clarity, your emotional health, your physical body, a relationship. But whatever it is, give it a name, a number, a form. Write it down as a single present tense affirmation. Not, I want to be financially free, but I am building financial freedom through disciplined, inspired daily action. Not, I hope to lose weight, but I am strong, healthy, and full of energy. What cannot be clearly imagined cannot be physically achieved. Manifest your future by first defining it with precision. Pillar 2. Daily visualization. The mental movie that becomes reality. Every morning when you wake up, and every night before you fall asleep, you are going to enter a state of deep, intentional silence and see your transformed life with the eyes of your imagination. Not as a wish, not as a distant possibility, as a present reality. See it in full color. Feel the emotions that come with having arrived. Feel the gratitude of someone who already possesses what they sought. Hear the sounds, sense the textures. Breathe the air of the life you are building in the invisible before it appears in the visible. This practice is at the heart of how to manifest money, how to attract opportunity, and how to develop the kind of rich mindset that actually draws wealth and success into your physical experience. Bob Proctor, one of the most prominent interpreters of Napoleon Hill wisdom in the modern era, taught extensively that the mind cannot reliably distinguish between an event that is vividly imagined and one that is physically lived. When you visualize with consistent emotion and detail, you begin to convince your subconscious mind that this outcome is not only possible, it is inevitable. And your subconscious, once convinced, begins orchestrating your behavior, your perceptions, and your responses in alignment with that belief. You do not need to know how it will happen. Visualization is not planning. It is programming. Pillar 3. Affirmations. Speaking truth into the silence. In the quiet of your practice, whispered softly or spoken only within the chamber of your own mind, you will begin declaring the truth about who you are becoming. Say, I am prosperous. I am capable. Abundance flows freely into my life. I trust the process that is unfolding before me. In the beginning, your old mind will resist. It will call these statements lies. It will remind you of the bank account balance, the rejection letter, the failed attempt. Do not argue with it. Simply return to your affirmations. Because here is the truth about habit formation that neuroscience and Napoleon Hill agree on completely. Repetition is more powerful than intensity. One volcanic emotional experience does not rewire the mind the way that quiet, daily, consistent repetition does. Water does not break stone in a single crash. It breaks stone gently, drop by drop, day after day, until the stone has no choice but to yield. Your affirmations are the drops. Your old patterns of thinking are the stone, and consistency is the force that will break through. Pillar 4. Gratitude, the frequency that unlocks abundance. Of all the practices that separate people who successfully manifest transformation from those who remain stuck, gratitude is perhaps the most underestimated. Gratitude is not just a pleasant emotion. It is a frequency, a literal shift in the signal your mind is broadcasting to the world around it. And what you broadcast, you attract back. Here is the mechanism. When you are in a state of genuine gratitude, your mind is focused on what is present, on what is working, on what is good. And according to every major law of personal growth and money mindset, what you focus on expands. Conversely, when you are fixated on what is lacking, on the debt, the loneliness, the missed opportunity, you are in a state of fear and scarcity. And fear contracts. Fear closes doors that gratitude would swing wide open. Every single morning, before you pick up your phone, before you check messages or news or social media, pause in silence and identify 3 things you are genuinely grateful for. They do not have to be monumental. The fact that you are breathing, the warmth of sunlight, someone in your life who loves you, the fact that you have access to ideas that can change your life. Train your soul to recognize the abundance that already exists, because as Philippians teaches, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. With thanksgiving. Gratitude and faith are not separate practices. They are 2 expressions of the same inner posture. One amplifies the other. Begin with gratitude and watch how quickly your faith is strengthened. Pillar 5. Coherent action. Moving as if you already believe. Everything in the first 4 pillars lives in the world of the invisible. Thought, vision, declaration, feeling. and all of it is essential. But Napoleon Hill was also emphatic that faith without action is nothing more than a wish dressed up in spiritual language. True belief expresses itself in behavior. If you truly believe you are becoming someone who builds wealth, you will make different financial decisions today. If you truly believe you are becoming someone with a healthy body, you will make different choices at the dinner table. If you truly believe you are becoming someone with clarity and purpose, you will protect your time differently. Each day within these 21 days, take at least one small, deliberate action that is consistent with the person you are declaring yourself to be. The size of the action matters far less than the message it sends to your inner world. I believe this enough to move that message and carry to your subconscious through consistent, congruent action is what upgrades intention into transformation. Start today, not Monday, not next month. Today is where your new story begins. As you build momentum through your first week, these 4 refinements will carry your practice to a level that most people in the self-improvement world never reach. Guard your mornings like they are sacred, because they are. The first 20 minutes of your day set the neurological tone for everything that follows. Instead of reaching immediately for your phone and flooding your just-awakened mind with other people's agendas, news feeds, and emotional noise, protect that time ferociously. Use it for your visualization, your affirmations, your gratitude. You are literally programming your mind before the noise of the world has a chance to interfere. Learn the art of thought substitution. Throughout the day, the old mental habits will attempt to reclaim their territory. Doubt will surface. Fear will tap you on the shoulder. Scarcity thinking will try to pull you back toward familiar ground. Do not fight these thoughts. Fighting gives them energy. Instead, practice substitution. The moment a thought of limitation appears, observe it without judgment, and then deliberately replace it with its opposite. Not because you are suppressing reality, but because you are choosing your dominant frequency. This is one of the foundational success habits taught across every major self-help and personal development tradition. Practice active imagination with full sensory detail. Beyond the morning and evening visualization, find one window during your day, even 5 minutes, to engage your imagination in a deeply detailed, emotionally charged scene of your desired life. Don't just see a static image. Build a living scene. Where are you? What are you doing? Who is with you? What does it feel like in your body to have arrived? The more real you make it in your mind, the more powerfully it begins to take shape in your physical experience. This is how to manifest at the highest level, not with passive dreaming, but with active, emotionally engaged inner creation. Keep an evidence journal. Every night before bed, write down at least one sign, however small, that your transformation has already begun. A new idea that came to you, a door that opened unexpectedly, a conversation that felt like a signal, a moment of unusual peace or clarity. In the beginning, these will feel like coincidences, but as you document them day after day, a pattern will emerge, and that pattern will be the evidence your conscious mind needs to deepen its conviction that this process is real. As Galatians 6:9 promises, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. The harvest is already growing. The evidence journal helps you see it. No one who has embarked on a genuine mindset shift journey has done so without encountering resistance. Here is what you will face and how to move through it. Days of inspiration. There will be days, especially early on, when everything clicks. When the visualization feels real, the affirmations feel true, and the gratitude flows effortlessly. These days are gifts. Soak them in. But do not build your practice on their foundation. Inspiration is a visitor, not a resident. Days of neutrality. These are the most common days, and paradoxically, the most important. The days when you show up not because you feel moved, but simply because it is time. You do your visualization. You say your affirmations. You write your gratitude. And nothing feels particularly powerful. These days, practiced faithfully, are where true habit formation occurs. The success habits that produce lasting transformation are built not in moments of peak experience, but in the ordinary moments of quiet commitment. Days of resistance. There will be days when everything inside you says to stop. When the doubt feels overwhelming. When the gap between where you are and where you want to be seems unbridgeable. These are the days that determine everything, because the person who practices on the hard days, who shows up in silence even when silence feels empty, is the person who emerges transformed on day 22. Decide now before those days arrive that you will practice anyway, not because it's easy, but because you made a promise to yourself. And honoring that promise is the first expression of the rich mindset you are building. Everything we have explored here points toward a single, clarifying truth, one that Napoleon Hill dedicated his life to illuminating, one that the world's greatest spiritual traditions have affirmed across millennia, and one that the most effective life coach teachings in the world of self-improvement and personal finance continue to confirm. The outer world is built from the inside out. Your thoughts, held in silence, sustained with faith, energized with emotion, and confirmed through consistent action, are the architects of your physical reality. Not eventually, not maybe, always. What you silently and persistently believe about yourself determines what you become. What you imagine in the secret of your own soul begins to crystallize into the tangible structures of your life. This is not metaphor. This is the operating principle behind every story of genuine transformation, every audiobook on how to get rich through internal discipline, every case study in personal growth that actually stands up to scrutiny. As Mark declares with breathtaking simplicity, everything is possible for one who believes. Not some things, not the easy things, everything. Your belief, nurtured in silence, practiced daily and acted upon with courage, is the most powerful force you possess. Do not hand it to the world. Do not dilute it in conversations that are not ready to receive it. Guard it. Feed it, and trust the process of its unfolding. You do not need permission. You do not need different circumstances. You do not need to wait until the conditions are right or the timing is perfect. You need only your decision, made today, to begin. Start the 21 days. Start in silence. Start with one clear intention. And then, day after day after day, show up in that silence with your visualization, your affirmations, your gratitude, and your action. And watch as the life you have been holding in your mind begins, with quiet and unstoppable momentum, to appear before your eyes. Because the seed planted in secret always, always, bears fruit in its time. If this message stirred something in you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And seal your commitment by writing in the comments, "My silence transforms me." See you on the other side of 21 days.